Happy Saturday! We're making my breakfast, which last week was I used ground beef and I used some skirt steak or real super thin steak. This week, went to Aldi's and I got this big boy of ground beef. This one's $73.27. So I'm gonna put this in here. Maybe. Get in there. All right. Now, I've been watching some videos. I'm gonna wash my hands and talk at the same time. So I've been watching some videos, and they're a little bit more geared on making sure you get the right nutrition. And some people say you should eat organs. Some people say just the meat or the muscle meat's enough. Well, I got to thinking, and you know, muscle meat, while it's, I could turn this on left front. While it's great, I thought, you know, they're probably right. I should add a little bit of organs. So I went and I bought me some liver. That's beef liver, and it's 2 pounds. Well, they're both frozen. It was 1 pound frozen and 1 pound frozen, and I totally was thinking that I needed 2 pounds for this week, which I didn't, but I defrosted it anyway. So now, gotta find a big Ziploc bag. And I'll put half of that back in the freezer for next week's prep. But we'll see how it goes. I got 1 pound of beef liver and 1 pound of calf liver. And I thought, well, when I was a kid, I'd go to my cousins across the street, and their mom would make liver and onions. And man, I used to love that stuff. But it's been a whole lot of years since I've had it. And so since, you know, I can't recall the taste, instead of me just having, you know, straight up liver, I thought to myself, you know, let's put the liver in with the ground beef. So that's what we're going to do. I got to find my meat, my ground beef masher. This thing, this is what I like. I don't remember. I think it's for a potato masher, but I'm gonna kind of soften up the ground beef and get that going, and then I'll add the liver to it, and it'll be just right. So I've got some for my electrolytes, because you know those are important. Which, by the way, to defrost the liver, I had it in the oven on 170 for a while. But I've got my, let's make sure this is one that's open. Yep. I have my real salt, Redmond's real salt. And then I'll put in some no salt for potassium. And then I take magnesium at bedtime. So that's how I get my potassium and sodium and magnesium. And this is going back in the freezer, or going into the freezer. We'll figure out the other part next. I went to Aldi's, like I said yesterday, bought a whole bunch of good red meat, or beef. So I'm gonna put in a little bit of the no salt. Usually, up till now, I've been using a shaker of no salt. This is white pepper. I don't use a whole lot, but just a hint. I usually use a shaker. It's half no salt and half real salt. But since I bought me some new salt, I haven't mixed it together yet. And this is the Redmond's. people say that it's supposed to be good for you because it's from an inland source of sea salt and something, no plastic and something. I don't know. I bought it. We'll see. I mean, to me, salt tastes like salt, and that's all you got. So I'm going to let this simmer down, and I'll let you know when I add in the liver. Want to see how I pay my sous chefs? Here, hang on. This is how I pay my sous chefs. Watch these little stinkers. Okay. And yes, this will probably touch their mouth, and no, nobody else is eating it, so I don't care. Okay. Sammy. Uh-oh. You goof. You about shoved it down your throat. Baxter. Sit. Good boy. Callie. Come here, Callie. Here you go, Mama. She's the only girl in the house. Come on. She's going to take it off and decide if she likes it or not. Here you go, big boy. That's there. What do you think of that? Good job. All gone. So, that's how you pay your sous chefs. Let me get you turned. Whoa. Don't get sick on me now. All right. So I'm still working on this here ground beef. Still have a long way to go. But I'm going to go ahead and add this because let it get in there and get some flavor melding going on. Now, when you do ground beef, you might get some stuck in your dealie. You just kind of scrape that out and scrape that out. So, don't drop my scissors right into the liver thing. Okay, now that's some leftover blood that was, in with the livers. I'll scoop out what I can. Hey, you two. That's all you're going to get. You don't get no more. You're not cute enough for seconds now. Now you're going to be cutting into my food, and that ain't happening. Oh, no. We don't cut into the mama's food. Now, believe it or not, this week I did have my, mercy. I did have my kitchen sink clean, but I've already put things into it, so whatever. So anyway, I'm going to kind of mix this up a little bit, and I'll show you when it starts getting lower. I'll tell you a couple things. So last week, I did the 1 pound for breakfast and 1 pound for supper. It worked really well, except sometimes I wasn't hungry at supper time. So there was about 2 days last week where I did 1 meal a day. And if you go looking on the internet and you see OMAD, that is short speak for 1 meal a day. So you'll hear people say OMAD, and that's what that is, 1 meal a day. So there was a couple days where I did that, but it wasn't because something was wrong, or, it wasn't because I was, I just wasn't hungry. So what I'm going to try to do this week is, this is, 5 pounds and 1 pound of liver. Well, when it gets down, it won't quite be that much. But I'm going to spread that over 6 meals. And so that'll still be my breakfast. But then my suppers, I've got the steaks, and so I'm not going to have a whole pound of that every day. Today's not my official weigh day, but according to the scale, I'm down 28.2 pounds. Let me tell you, I tried to spit and spit and spit, or 29.8 pounds. I couldn't do anything to get that 0.2 pounds to go down. So, just so you know out there, you can't spit enough to make 0.2 pounds to lower the scale. But anyway, so yeah, so I'm almost down 30 pounds. One thing I've noticed since I switched from keto to carnivore, and again, it's only been, you know, I just finished my second week, but I don't have the crashes. I still had the crashes while I was doing the keto for whatever reason, about 1:30, 2 o'clock. I was just exhausted. I felt like I just wanted to go to bed. And now I have energy till the end of the workday. And, you know, sure, I'm drinking coffee till about 8 or 9 or 10, but at 4:30, that should be worn off. And I was almost hyper yesterday, or a couple afternoons this week. If I physically could, I would have ran around the building. I was just so mentally and internally filled with this energy that I've never had since I was a kid. But physically, my body can't do it yet. So for the people that say, oh, just get out, just got to move more and eat less. Well, you can't move more if your body is not capable of moving more. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to the stage when I physically can move more, because boy, oh boy, I was on it. I was feeling so good and everything. So I don't know. Tomorrow is my official away day, so I'll know tomorrow what my total weight loss is. So I do weigh every day, but that's because I have a fluid retention problem. And you know, before I started going keto and carnivore, I would go to bed and I would pee about 5 or 6 times a night. And then in the morning, I would be down like 6 or 7 pounds. And that's just in one night because I retained so much fluid. So I'm not going to make you watch this, but I'm going to put this into 6 of these. So that way I can have my breakfast this week. I'm probably going to use, because I do want the juices. Look at me, I said I'm not going to make you watch me do this, but sure enough, I am going to make you watch me do a couple. So, because I do want a little bit of that fat from down in there, because that's good for you, regardless of what other people say. It's one. I could show you what it looks like. But so now I've got some pieces of liver in here, and so here, that's what it looks like. You can see the grease down on bottom. But yeah, so that's going to be my breakfast every morning. And I tell you what, one would think that if you could only eat one, meat all the time, you'd get tired of it. But I am to the point now where I just look so forward to breakfast time and eating time because it tastes so good. But I'm not hungry. I've done every single diet that there is. For my whole life, I've been doing diets. But this way of eating, I'm just not hungry all day. When I did Weight Watchers, I had to eat every 2 to 3 hours. And when you're a nurse on the floor, that's just so hard to keep up with. I was working at the hospital, and so it was hard to keep up with. So I ended up gaining my weight back. I had lost 80 pounds, but I did it while I was in school. And while I was in school, I was able to sit and, we had breaks and we had lunches. So on those lunches, I would be able to just go to my lunch box and pull out whatever it was, but you have to eat all the time. Well, and believe me, I'm a big person, and you know, I love to eat. So the fact that I am not eating constantly and I'm not hungry blows my mind. You know, I mean, I've eaten so much for all my life. I've eaten constantly, but yeah, I don't do that anymore, and I don't have the cravings anymore. And it's so remarkable. They had 2 things this week. Monday, that's another reason why I had an extra meal. So Monday, we celebrated all the birthdays for our work, and then so there was cake. It was my favorite, lava cake. One of the girls I work with didn't touch it. Didn't have any craving for it at all. It just didn't sing to me. And then another person had a wedding, like a bridal party type thing at work, and like there was cake. And let me tell you, I would have been the first person in line to get some cake. I mean, sugar is a drug for me. And so, you know, and like I said, my coworkers have told me before that I act like I'm drunk. I'm trying to do something with this. Look at me. I act like I'm drunk when I have cake. So it is like a drug for me. Oh, I didn't do it. I'll stand up high. So it is like a drug for me. And so, the fact that I didn't say, you know, that I didn't go get in line, and then I didn't just, you know, sometimes I used to just eat the icing off and forget the cake because I wanted that sugar rush, and it was so amazing. But the way I'm eating now, I don't have that. But now, even when I was keto, I did not eat the fat bombs. I did not make the bread. I didn't make the floury stuff because I'm a trigger eater. So I knew that if I ate a lot of those sweet treats and fat bombs, that would have been it. So I didn't do it. But anyway, so yeah, so that's my breakfast. And that's what I'm going to have for the rest of the week. And I'll, it's been 17 minutes. Maybe I'll upload this one and come back for our steaks.